If you look at in 2000, Democrats went to the Senate, or 2001, Democrats went to the Senate floor and objected to George W. Bush. In 2004, they went and objected.
And what did the president do?
In 2016, Democrats went and objected to Donald Trump. And so... Look,
and what happened in 2016? Because I remember a guy named Joe Biden was vice president, and he went to the Senate floor and certified the votes.
Yeah, I don't know how old Ted thinks we are, but plenty of us, maybe not all of you, but plenty of us are old enough to remember those elections. First of all, quite notably, there were no riots at the Capitol on either of those occasions. Also, those were two instances when the president won the Electoral College without winning won the popular vote without winning the Electoral College, which especially back in 2000 was very, very unusual. That wasn't a normal thing to see happen. So there was reason for Democrats to actually be upset, but being upset about the way a system works is wildly different from denying the results of that system, right? So Democrats are not crying to this day about how Gore or Clinton should have won or how Gore or Clinton were the actual real presidents during those times. There is a difference. And especially in 2000, the Democrats kind of did have a decent case to argue in that regard. But the last point before we get to this next clip, in both of those cited instances, Democrats certified the election results. Gore actually certified his own election loss against George W. Bush, and Joe Biden, of all people, certified Trump's win. So in this next clip, it's great because Collins accuses Republicans of doing a thing, and then Ted, a Republican, proceeds to do the exact thing.
Let me ask you one. It's Republicans have twisted themselves in knots. It's just a yes or no question.
I'm not twisting myself. I'm answering your question. You just don't like my answer.
And what's your answer? Is it yes or is it no?
So in 1876, what Congress did is it appointed an election commission. It consisted of 15 people. 5 House members, 5 senators, 5 Supreme Court justices. The Election Commission was charged with studying the evidence and making a determination of what voter fraud occurred, and that determined the winner. And what I called for in 2020 was to do the same thing, appoint an election commission, and 11 senators joined me.
Senator, with all due respect, after it had been thrown out of many courts, after the Attorney General Bill Barr, because there was no basis for those court cases.
So I was tempted to cut that clip right when she said, is it yes or no? And he goes on to say, so in 1876. So I decided to do the responsible thing, give you all the context, even though it was less fun that way. Anyway, so Ted is trying to play the role of a concerned and thoughtful legislator who, if he's guilty of anything, it's for looking out for the American people and for democracy. John, he could have fooled me.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you.
Yeah, this is the character that he's supposed to like. I'm gonna say something about 1876 that nobody cares about and has nothing to do with this. And I hope that if I just talk long enough, you won't call me on my BS. I really love Kaitlan Collins in that interview, both because she came prepared for his nonsense, because he's not a particularly creative person. He makes the same BS arguments over and over, and she seemed to be having fun at the same time. And I don't think there's enough fun in the news, so I like Kaitlan Collins for that. But yeah, she kept pointing out, like he would bring up, the Al Gore or Joe Biden. Yeah, they certified it. Hillary Clinton conceded the next day. Donald Trump claims that the election was stolen to this day. Like not next morning, not ever, any morning, never. He's never going to accept it. Donald Trump has never accepted that he has lost in any election. And I don't just mean the overall results of presidential elections. He just, like last week, lied about having won Minnesota in 2020. He didn't, he lost that state. He lied about Ted Cruz himself beating him in Iowa back in 2016. It's a 100% predictable pattern. Ted Cruz knows all of that. It's one of the most frustrating things about watching people like him or JD Vance. They're not people. They're not people that we disagree with. They're not people that we could convince. He's not interested in what is true. He's interested in maintaining his access and proximity to power. Ted Cruz was willing to call for like a voter fraud commission like they did in 1876. That's what he did. But if it had gone farther, he would still be game. If Donald Trump had marched in there with soldiers and wiped out the Democratic members of the House, Ted Cruz would bow to Trump as he walked past him. Like these are the people that we have to contend with. I wish that this was a thing where everyone was like a little bit partisan or whatever. It's not. they're not able to be persuaded because they're not interested in what's actually true. They're not interested in what happened in 2000 or 2016 or 2020 or anything like that. They're interested in winning elections that they otherwise actually lost. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And I do love your Texan accent, by the way. That was good. That was fun for me.
Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.